Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We've recently gained some new information on Black Ops 6, courtesy of COD updates, the devs themselves, and then also some information from several creators who were able to go out to Treyarch and learn about the game a little bit early prior to the direct event taking place, all of which details some good news, I would say. So starting here first with Call of Duty updates, they did post this correction a few days back that should definitely, temper some concern. I know a lot of players initially saw when they were initially revealing like the pre-order pages and the downloads and everything for Black Ops 6, showing that the game could be 300 plus gigs when you go through and download it. And COD Updates says this: correction. The estimated file size currently displayed on the Black Ops 6 pre-order pages does not represent the download size or disk footprint for Black Ops 6. The sizes shown include the full installations for all of Modern Warfare 2. So that would be the campaign and DMZ and multiplayer. All of Modern Warfare 3, so multiplayer, campaign, zombies in there as well. All of Warzone and all relevant content packs, including all localized languages, which not everyone is ever going to do, combined, which is not representative of a typical player install experience. So that 310 gigs shown is only the size of if you had every single possible thing installed on the COD HQ, which, let's face it, 310 gigs for what would essentially be 3 games at that point. Not that crazy when you actually break it down and sort of separate it out, but all at once obviously it looks a lot more concerning when it's like, wait a second, they say if I want to get Black Ops 6 I need to have 310 gigs reserved now. No, that won't be the case at all. Players will be able to download Black Ops 6 at launch without downloading any other COD titles or all the language packs. The actual estimation of the Black Ops 6 file size will be available closer to launch. So obviously, as we know by now, you can sort of pick and choose what you want installed on the COD HQ. If you never are going to go and play MW2 again, you can completely uninstall MW2, and that's going to have no impact if you want to keep Warzone installed. It's not going to take away any of your MW2 content or anything. Or with Black Ops 6, you can only have this installed, but you'll still be fine for everything going on in Warzone. It's not going to delete any content there. You can just have older games installed if you want to go back and play them, but having them installed does not, mean only then you end up getting the content, right? They're not required by any means. Anything that is required is going to be clearly a forced download. So for those of you worried about the file size or anything going on with Black Ops 6, definitely some good news with the clarifications here. Now, GameFile, a website here covering various different games, actually sat down and did an interview with Treyarch, and in this they do reveal a handful of other pretty important things, and especially good things when you're looking at Black Ops 6 long term. So there's a few basic questions in here asking about the campaign, asking about the Microsoft acquisition. They said they got t-shirts because of it, which is interesting for sure. But then we get into this last part of it, which talks about how long they've been working on the game and what the process was like here. And we get some really cool details here that are then sort of corroborated by some information that certain creators got when they went out to Treyarch early. So GameFile asks how long you've been working on this game for, and Treyarch says it was about 4 years. And keep in mind, 4 years is the longest development cycle any single Call of Duty title has ever had. Previously, there was the 3-year cycle between the 3 devs, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer. That was the longest. Black Ops 6 now becomes the single most developed game in Call of Duty franchise history. We started in conceptual development after 2020's Cold War launch. So from 2022, when the game launches, they'll have been working on it a 4-year dev time. Is that longer than you've had before? Yes. That must feel nice. Yes. In the time that we finished Cold War, we also made an engine transition as well. So that was a big part of it. Moving off the Treyarch engine and onto a kind of unified Call of Duty engine. As we know and as we have known for the past couple of years, with Warzone 2 and this new era of Call of Duty starting with MW2, all the COD games moving forward are shared on one unified engine. Now, this engine will be upgraded over time. It's technically upgraded year over year as the new games come out. They're always making improvements and changes, but one unified engine is the way forward for Call of Duty. So even as we see maybe an engine shift in the future to whatever's next, or as upgrades are made, every COD is working off the same one to bring more seamlessness to the titles. They say that definitely had its benefits, but there was also that time when we were kind of making that transition. It's the first Treyarch game on that engine. It's basically a platform as an engine that we're able to build on. So we brought a bunch of stuff to it as well. Then obviously folks at Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer and others, they'll be able to kind of build on top of that versus us trying to outdo each other, I guess. So this is the really important takeaway here, basically. Rather than every single year there being their own specific engine for COD, so Treyarch has their engine and Sledgehammer has their engine and Infinity Ward has theirs, and then every new multiplayer, it's like, okay, we have to do this, but better on our engine, which can cause complications, or they did this and the players really liked it, so we're gonna have to do this now because Activision's saying it has to be in the game, but we've never done it on our engine before, so now that's more work and it's more testing and might not be nearly as polished, even though we just had it for a year with the last game. It's kind of this cat and mouse game, this tug of war back and forth when they're all on different engines. Now though that it's a unified engine and Treyarch works off the same build, Infinity Ward works off the same build, Sledgehammer, Raven, Beanox, High Moon, whoever else, right? It means that year over year, rather than saying, okay, hey, we have to now try and reinvent this for our own game, it's, hey, we have the groundwork here. It's going to be much easier to test this and tweak things as we want it because it's already been playable on the same core engine that we're using here, which is great news all across the board. Also, the fact that Treyarch's had years to sort of work with this engine. Obviously, while this is their first game dropping on it, it's not like they only just started using this. It's been in the works for some time now, which is definitely good as well. But here's what's even more exciting here, and what I think is going to be really good long term for Call of Duty. Some of the information that was shared to us because of some creators and some insiders that went out to Treyarch earlier on prior to Black Ops 6 being revealed. Basically, in the same way that Treyarch just said, hey, yeah, you know, we've been working on this engine and now that we're all on the same one, it's a lot easier to go between each games. Treyarch also happened to mention to other creators that because they've been using them as a support studio in some recent years, like now obviously with how Call of Duty works, if it's not Sledgehammer's year to be making the full game, they're assisting in some way on Infinity Ward's title, or they're assisting in some way on Treyarch's title. Treyarch's been sort of doing the same the past couple of years. Obviously with Modern Warfare 2, they worked on ranked a little bit and adjusted things there and sort of ran that operation. Within MW3 this year, Treyarch led up Zombies and they also worked on ranked and stuff. And so Treyarch actually helping on these previous couple of titles on this unified engine as sort of a support studio. They told creators and insiders that that was actually huge for them because it allowed them to get more familiar with the engine and actually have parts of their stuff in the game and on the engine beforehand, so they were able to quickly learn from that. And when it was time to move over more focus towards their game, towards Black Ops 6, it wasn't a start from ground zero and work our way up. It was, hey, we're starting a level 4, 5, 6, 7. We already have Zombies AI and Zombies mechanics built into this engine, so that's going to make our lives easier. Or we already got this set up and that set up because we were helping with ranked play, so we know how this is going to function. And they said that was actually very beneficial to them as they were getting started with Black Ops 6 and through the development process here, as it again just made things more seamless, which again is very good news. If you're focusing on the long term for COD, this should, keyword should, there will always be hiccups, there will always be bumps in the road, but this should help make things a lot smoother year to year, where, hey, in year one, this specific feature that was introduced worked really well. Like, let's say Omni Movement, for example, is a huge hit and they want it to be in COD 2025 and they want it to be in Infinity Ward's COD 2026 or Sledgehammer's COD 2027. Well, guess what? Rather than Infinity Ward or Sledgehammer now having to try and recreate Omni Movement in their games, well, all the groundwork is here now. Treyarch's got this set on this engine and we know exactly how it's going to behave on this engine. We can just adjust things like the speeds and the rates and everything to make it feel how we want it to feel without having to completely redo the system and possibly, mess things up or cause issues or cause more delays in the meantime. So it means year over year, we should see more progression, more innovation that is smoother than in years past where it's like, hey, year one, we had this really cool thing. Year two, it was very funky, but then year three, it was much better because they had the time to work on it in between. This should set things up very nicely for the future. So good news all around, in my opinion. smoother game features, smoother connection between the studios, no more of that tug of war style tug of war sort of scenario going on. And for those worried about how large this game could be on your console or on your PC, it should not be anything too outrageous per Call of Duty. So that's gonna wrap things up for this video. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And of course, if you're new here, you want to guarantee that every single day you are up to date with news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns, all things going on in COD. This is the place to be, so feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.